Hi everyone, welcome back. Information about the fitting can be found in the video description. This is a very expensive setup. However, it is very safe to run the Firestorm filaments. And obviously the filaments are very cheap because of the difficulty with this weather. I think this is a minus 70% weather. I didn't check, unfortunately. But yeah, I think it's minus 70 looking as we go through the other spawns, how quick they go down. This is the Rodiva room. It can be tough because of the remote reps that they do. However, usually you can pretty much jump or punch through the remote reps. I prioritize either the Tanglings or the Starvings demographics, depending on how many of them are in the composition. But the incoming damage is pretty low. You can either use one shield booster or two once they start ramping up, but I usually start with a single rapper and then do the second one when needed. This room is very safe to use your mutated drones. Obviously you need to keep an eye on the tangling demographics because you don't want to get your drones webbed. So for the mutated drones, it's always good to focus first on the tangling ones. If there's a ton of those, it helps save your drones. But you can see I can just fly through the room, face tank everything, get the nodes and caches. And just take down the remainder of the spawn. So the first room, 65 mil. It's not too bad for Firestorms. I have seen that the Firestorms on average provide a little bit less is than what I've seen so far in Darks and in Gammas. However, if you get that unstable plate mutaplasmid, then yeah, your run is very profitable. However, everything is very in the high end of the Firestorm, so you need to get the good drops to make the big money compared to the other weathers, which take care of or maybe basically provide a little bit more ish because the lower tier loot is already very profitable as well. Then we now get the Caren spawn with the FE Altas. Depending on the spawn composition, it can be tough. It depends, you know, how many dissipators or entanglers are in there. I usually go for the dissipators first, just to make sure I keep my cap up. It's important to keep moving as well in this room, so taking care of entanglers is important. Because the stronger you're webbed, the higher risk of getting that wrecking shot from Caren. However, compared to the Cerberus, the Gila has a lot more shield to go through, so wrecking shots can more easily be absorbed. So my priority is usually dissipators and then the webbing ones. The armor on Caren itself isn't a ton, so even with the boost because of the Firestorm weather effect in armor, it's not as bad. So you can basically use just drones or just your mutated drones to take care of the spawn. If you struggle with DPS, obviously use your missiles as well. The key thing there is then stay in range of the battleship, because usually Caren stays out quite a bit of range. And if you wanna or need your missiles to apply as well, then it's important to stay close to Caren. In this one I'm lucky because Caren stays pretty close. I'm using my drones now to take care of Caren slowly and use the missiles for whatever's close. That's the alternative. If there's only a few FE Altas left, use your missiles to take down those last 2 or 3 and already keep your DPS on Caren with your drones. And use missiles if you're in range. But as you can see, it's a pretty quick room in minus 70 weather with Caren. And yeah, I'm within 10 minutes, right? If you look at the timer, I'll be out of this room and the first room within a 10-minute time frame. Second room didn't give us too much, 29 mil, but still, I'll take it. The third room, the Deepwatchers. So this is, I think, minus 70 weather, so I'm doing pretty well on a time perspective. But this room is in Firestorms and is sync. because the Deepwatchers already have 8 ton of armor, and in Firestorm that gets the boost. So the key thing here is to apply DPS straight away. This is not a perfect example, as I'm going for one of the nodes and just use my drones on one of the Deepwatchers. In minus 70 you might get away with this, but if this is a minus 50 weather, you want to get close to the Deepwatchers from the get-go and apply full DPS. It's one of the rooms where I have the Fury missiles with me as well. I don't think I actually use those. I still stick with the Kildari Navy ones. However, it's important to apply or reload to Fury once your first clip is almost out, and keep applying the damage to Deepwatchers. It's easy to tank them, it's easy to face tank them, you don't need to stay at range, you can orbit the gate at 500 and just keep your deep damage on the Deepwatchers. But yeah, you need to, keep the damage on there. And you can see the first one is already down. Obviously, I've got very good mutated drones. So I think with the Fury missiles, I'll do 1050 DPS, I think. Now just 1005. Because I'm loading the Kildari Navy ones. But yeah, in this room, independent of the weather, to be honest, just stay close. And I'll keep DPS on them for as quick as possible and as much as possible. The automated suppressor tower in this one makes it a little bit more difficult, so I need to switch drones to my second DPS set. It does slightly less DPS, but still it will be fine. If you got a couple of decent rolls with the mutated skill pretty high up there, you'll still do pretty good DPS. You can see me switching out drones simply to avoid them going into armor because of the automated suppressor. It's very safe normally to run the mutated drones in this room. They don't change aggro. Yeah, so the third room gave us 51 mil, so totaling up to 145 mil for this run. Around the 15-minute time mark. And with that, we're done. So thanks for joining. Please like and subscribe, and catch you at the next one.